I know y'all want to know about the secrets of Space Time Distortions in Pokemon Legends Arceus. I got you covered. Let's dive in. Yo, whoa, what is going on YouTube? It's your boy Dan, aka A-Drive. I'm bringing you guys a brand new video today, and today we are talking about Space Time Distortions in Pokemon Legends Arceus and how you can get them to form as fast as humanly possible. Now, I held off on making this video over the last couple weeks because there was still information to be discovered about how these rifts appear that allow you to get these rare spawns in the game. But I'm gonna give you a full breakdown in this video talking about how to get them to form, how to make them form as fast as possible, and what rare Pokemon you can actually find in the distortions so you can complete your Pokedex or ultimately shiny hunt various Pokemon. Like me personally, I'm trying to shiny hunt for Shiny, Hisui, and Samurott, and boy oh boy, it's a tough one. Be sure to hit that like button down below if this video helps you out, and subscribe to the channel if you guys are new so you don't miss out on our epic Pokemon Legends Arceus content. Without further ado, let's dive in. Let's talk about the raids, how the mechanic works, and everything in between. Okay, so a handful of members of the community have spent a tremendous amount of time testing, myself included, through my shiny hunting, and we're gonna reference a few different people. First of all, Austin John Plays, Philly Beats You, they put a lot of time into testing. And then we've also got Cerebi.net and Anubis or Sabuna Switch. So we've got this really great graphic from Sabuna, and I think that this summarizes things very, very well. So basically, the long and short of it is, the distortions are based on a timer. And when you enter a new location, let's say you travel from Jubilife to the coastlands or whatever it may be, the timer begins. Now there's a few things that stop or pause the timer, but ultimately that timer is going to go, and the longer the timer goes, the higher the chance of getting a distortion happens. So we have this little table here, and it basically breaks it down, and we're gonna be looking at the normal percentage. The Rift active percentage is in relation to the climax of the story where the sky is a different color. So generally for most people that's not relevant here. So we're just gonna be looking at the normal percentage. So when you first enter a location, in the first 5 minutes, there is a 10% chance of a distortion spawning. In the first 10 minutes of being there, there's a 30% chance of the distortion spawning. In the first 15 minutes, there's a 50% chance. In the first 25 minutes, there's a 75% chance. And in the first 40 minutes of being there, there is a 100% chance of you getting a space-time distortion to spawn. So realistically, the best bet is to approach a location or go to a location and simply wait for that distortion to form. Wait for it to pop up. And if you've waited 40 minutes, then it'll pop up. However, there's been some people who have been very confused about this and thinking different things. Battling against wild Pokemon, battling against trainers, these pause the timers. Opening up your menu pauses the timer. So if you are doing any of these things, you are pausing that timer up to the 40 minutes and ultimately delaying your distortion. So really the best thing you can do is to go to a location and simply just wait at the base camp, idle, not doing anything, and the distortion will eventually form. There is nothing to increase the speed at which the distortion forms. You cannot farm minerals. You cannot beat the Misfortune Sisters. You cannot finish outbreaks. These things have no impact on the distortion mechanic. It is as simple as a timer activating in the background of the game that is calculating, and within a 40-minute timer, you will have that distortion to farm. Now, there's a few other things that Sabuna here mentions that based on the chances of waiting a specific time, which I'll pull up that table here, it makes the most sense to stay in the area, not to reset after 5 minutes or to reset after 25 minutes. Your best bet is to just hope you get it quickly, but if it does take the full 40 minutes, it's just how it is sometimes, unfortunately. So it's very important to recognize that your best bet is to actually just stay and to wait. They also recommend a few things here that I'll put up, but they say it's always statistically beneficial to wait at most 40 minutes instead of resetting any elapsed time period, because you're always guaranteed to get one by 40, but you have to be paying attention because they can despawn if you don't get to them fast enough. So that's the gist right there, right? So it really is as simple as waiting. It has nothing to do with the Misfortune Sisters. It has nothing to do with any of the extra stuff that people were thinking. It really is just a timer-based mechanic, and people have tested this pretty extensively, myself included. But there's other things you don't want to your timer will reset if you change zones. So like if you go into a cave that forces you to press A to enter, like the lake caves for Lake Verity and things like that, that'll reset your timer. If you rest to a specific time, that'll also clear your timer and clear your distortions. Fast traveling and resting without changing the time do not affect the timers. So honestly, my highest recommendation is you can fast travel, you can rest just a little while without changing to night or morning or whatever, and you'll be okay. But honestly, your best bet if you're just waiting for distortions is legitimately get to a location, and then either just wait in the base camp with no menus open, just like on the regular game, or hop on Weirdeer and just take a quick lap around, because you never know what you're gonna find. Yesterday I found a shiny Alpha Lucario, which was crazy, and I was just looking for a distortion, and I found other shinies that way too. So it's probably worth your time to just take a lap around and just run around and check all the spawns and see what you can find. But again, don't go into battle unless it's a shiny. Don't fight trainers. You don't have to farm. It doesn't really matter. Don't pull up your menus, and ultimately distortions will spawn as fast as possible. I mean, that's just what it is. Unfortunately, it is just simply a timer-based situation. So why would you sit there and spend all this time farming these distortions? Well, you may or may not know, but there are a handful of Pokemon that are exclusive to distortions, and there's also a handful of Pokemon that are just easier to get in distortions. So in the Obsidian Fieldlands, you're able to find Gengar, Sneasel, Weavile, the standard forms, Leafeon, and Sylveon. So Gengar is pretty cool there. In the Crimson Mirelands, you're going to be able to get the Cyndaquil line, and this is the only way to get a shiny Cyndaquil line. Cyndaquil, Quilava, Typhlosion, as well as the Porygon line, Porygon, Porygon 2, and Porygon Z, and Flareon and Umbreon. The Cobalt Coastlands is the only place to get Magnemite and Magneton in the game. You can get Magnezone above the Highlands, Vaporeon and Flareon as well. In the Highlands, there's a bigger pool. You've got Cranidos and Rampardos, Shieldon and Bastiodon, Rowlet, Dartrix, and Decidueye. Again, the only way to get shiny Cranidos, Shieldon, and the Rowlet line is all through the Coronet Highlands Distortions. You can also get Jolteon, Magmortar, and Sylveon. And last but not least, the place that I know all too well now is the Alabaster Icelands, which features Espeon, Scizor, Glaceon, Oshawott, Duat, and Samurott. And the biggest thing to remember here is when you approach a space-time distortion, you'll get a variety of spawns. However, there are up to 3 rare spawn slots that can take place in each of these locations. So kind of recapping the Icelands, going backwards, the 3 rare spawns are Scizor, Oshawott, Duat, or Samurott. So you'll have those 3 rare spawns taken up by that. So if I go to Distortion in the Icelands and I see 3 Scizors, I know I'm not gonna see an Oshawott, right? If I see an Oshawott and 2 Scizors, I'm not gonna see anything else that I'm looking for, right? And the same goes for the Highlands. Cranidos, Rampardos, Shieldon, Bastiodon, and the Rowlet line, those all take up the 3 rare spawns. The Coastlands are Magnemite and Magneton, take up the rare spawns. The Mirelands take up Porygon, Cyndaquil, Quilava, Typhlosion, P2, and PZ. Those take up your rare spawns. And the Fieldlands are Sneasel and Weavile, which take up your rare spawns. So again, you have those very specific rare spawn slots, and those do get taken up by those particular Pokemon. So luckily for me, hunting Samurott right now, it's either I get a Scizor or I get an Oshawott in those 3 slots, or the Oshawott line, right? If you're hunting Rowlet though, you're gonna see Cranidos and Shieldon, and you could spend 40 minutes waiting for Distortion and not even see a Rowlet. I generally will at least see an Oshawott, so at least I got that going for me. But I'll tell you what, these are some of the rarest shiny Pokemon to obtain in the game, and if you do want to shiny hunt these starters, I have another video on it. But long story short, get their dex page perfect, get the shiny charm, you give yourself at least a fighting chance to hopefully get lucky and find these Pokemon as shiny. So that's that. After weeks of testing and lots of theories, we finally know how space-time distortions work in Pokemon Legends Arceus. It really is as simple as just waiting, and hopefully you don't have to wait the full 40 minutes. Sometimes you get lucky and it's 5 minutes, sometimes it's 10, other times you gotta wait the whole 40, and it just kinda is what it is. That's the breakdown. If you guys wanna watch me shiny hunt for my shiny Samurott, you can tune in at twitch.tv/adrive, where I stream that almost every single day. I've legitimately been grinding it. I'm actually gonna pull it up right now. I'll tell you my numbers right now because I think it's funny. I currently have about 5 hours hunting it so far, and I have 22 encounters. So you can do the math on that one. Like the video if you guys enjoyed this one, and of course subscribe to the channel if you guys are new. That's gonna be it for me, guys. My name is Dan. I also go by ADrive, and I will see you guys on the next one. Peace.